Hey everyone, Rich Bennett here. I'm excited to tell you about something we're doing for National Recovery Month. Here at Conversations with Rich Bennett, we're holding a special event called the Podathon for Recovery, 12 Days of Hope. For 12 consecutive days, we'll release a new episode dedicated to powerful conversations about addiction, recovery, and hope. And we're doing this to raise vital funds for an incredible nonprofit, Rage Against Addiction. They are on the front lines providing sober living homes, recovery coaching, and essential support to families. We believe recovery is a journey worth celebrating, and your support can make a tangible difference. Every donation, no matter the size, goes directly to them, helping to save lives and provide a second chance. So please join our mission. You can start donating right now. Simply go to conversationswithrichbennett.com and you'll see the donation thing right there so you can donate and help these women in recovery. Welcome to a special episode of Conversations with Rich Bennett. This is a part of our Podathon for Recovery, 12 Days of Hope, our mission to raise money for Rage Against Addiction. My co-host Wendy Beck and I will be sharing powerful stories of addiction, recovery, and resilience to help break the stigma and show that hope is always possible. Your support helps Rage Against Addiction provide life-changing resources, and you can donate right now by visiting our GoFundMe link in the show notes. We are so grateful you've joined us on this important journey. Now let's get into today's conversation. I'm sitting here with my lovely co-host, Wendy Beck, again, and we have another special guest, which Wendy is going to introduce and hear her story. Meanwhile, make donations.
Yes. Well, welcome, Kat.
Thank you.
If you want to introduce yourself, we can start there.
You just did.
Well, yeah, too many days together.
I'm Kat. Hi, Kat Leonard Scott.
Hi, Kat.
No, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It happens all the time. That's a natural instinct.
And Kat and I have known each other for a while now. Since the beginning of my journey with Rage, I think we met. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had just moved back home. I was pregnant with Gregory, about to have Gregory. He's about to be 8.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So, and you, she was a model for the Rage gear at one point.
Mm-hmm.
We, I got her in my archives.
So
of
fancy.
Yes.
Maybe that's why you look familiar.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if our audience, if we
used
reach
to have
that
it on
far.
No, did you used to have it on the website?
Maybe. Yeah.
Or maybe on the Facebook
yes.
page.
But anyway, so yes, she has been part of our community for a while. And I'm going to honestly say that I do not know your recovery story. So that's why I reached out to you today to see if you would be willing to share for National Recovery Month.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our journey together started with you helping out with Rage. I'm not really sure how we initially met, but I know that
just through Rachel.
Yes. So I know that you are in recovery and you have 2 children now.
Yep.
And you work in treatment, but that's pretty much all I know about your story. So
right, cool,
I would love to hear it.
I'll fill in the gaps, I guess. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
you. I always feel like I just introduce myself like this when I'm sharing my story, but I'm an addict named Kat. And I grew up here in Harford County. My family moved here when I was just about 3 from New York. And it was kind of strange. I can see it now from working the steps and working my recovery, that because I went from being around family all the time and Sunday dinners at grandmom's house and going to daycare with a cousin and just being around family to moving away, that I became very good at what some of the recovery techs called being a chameleon and blending in to fit in. I became very good at that, a really young age. Even though, I know my parents were great. I come from a, middle-class family, like I said, right here in Bel Air. I'm a graduate of Bel Air High School. And I can definitely see that in myself. I just never felt like I fit in. I went after people that I saw as being cool and tried to be like them, fit in with them, always seeking approval from a very, very, very young age. So I don't know if that has anything to do with me becoming an addict, but I can say it still comes up as a behavior pattern in my life that I work on. Growing up, I was very active in sports. Academics came very, very easily to me. I think that was kind of a detriment to myself later in life. When I was in high school, I got away with a lot of things. I think I first started experimenting with like alcohol and maybe weed in like 7th grade, 8th grade. But the summer before high school is probably where it really picked up. I won't say the name of the summer camp, but I worked for a local summer camp as a counselor because I turned 14 that summer and they let you become a counselor at that time. I had gone to this summer camp my whole life, but what I didn't realize was all the counselors were smoking weed and would drink on the weekends together. And it became like more accessible to me the summer before high school. And I met a lot of older people, working with older people as counselors and things like that. And it just wasn't a good influence for me at the time. Going into high school, I had a very traumatic event happen to me. It was actually during the summer workouts for volleyball. I decided, I always played basketball and softball growing up. I decided I was going to try volleyball to stay in shape for basketball. It was suggested to me to try. And one of the football players attacked me outside the school.
Jesus.
And I didn't know what was going to happen at that point. I kind of just shook it off, and I went back to practice.
Attacked you, and can I ask?
In a sexual nature. Yes.
Okay.
And that was my first sexual experience. So
I'm sorry.
that definitely changed the trajectory of my life. But I went back to practice. I kind of I think my brain just blocked it off. I didn't process it at all. Definitely still good at dissociating today. But again, something I work on. And I didn't process that, never told anyone until I met my sponsor.
Wow. How many years later was that, if you don't mind me asking?
15.
Wow.
So there was never any kind of
charges or anything?
Charges or anything like that?
And this person, I've never addressed them about it. We've had random passing in high school and outside of high school, but I've never interacted with that person on purpose again, but they've been around me before.
Wow.
And unfortunately, that person struggles with addiction today, and they've actually reached out for help a couple of times, and I just give them numbers.
Reached out to help from you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because they know that I'm in recovery.
Wow.
But that, you never know where your help's going to come from, and I've seen that happen to me as well, reaching out to people I never thought I would either when I was in desperate need. But yeah, so that was my start of becoming an adult. And definitely changed the trajectory of my life. But I made that volleyball team. I ended up making all the teams in high school. And like I said, academics were really easy for me. But I was the varsity athlete in the AP classes who was also a marching band nerd. That fit in there somewhere. I was very, very good at, I would be on the field for football and then run to the volleyball game.
How in the hell were you able to do all that?
And it was all chasing. I don't know if it was something that I really wanted to do or just that I thought that I had to try to be the best at everything or be good at everything. I don't know what that was. Or if I thought that having all these outside nice things, nobody would pay attention, that I was sneaking out at night to go to older kid parties. I was hanging out with the varsity athletes and going to their parties, all of those little cliques that I was a part of for all these things. Even the AP nerds and the marching band nerds, they got down and had their own drugs of choice and parties and things too. And it was strange. Now I'm grateful for it because I have a very eclectic group of friends. But I think it was a detriment that I was so good athletics and academically because nobody really saw what was going on underneath.
Right. There were no red flags.
Right. Or if I did get in trouble, I was able to just kind of mask it or
say, hey,
how could it be that big of a deal when I'm doing all these great things?
Right.
I'm straight A student, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
Then my mom got really sick my senior year of high school. She had some kind of gastric thing where she had a big surgery that came with a big recovery at home. And that was at the same time I injured my knee in basketball, and I became introduced to opiates at the time.
Shit.
That was it was my junior year of high school, actually, that she got sick and I had that injury. But even that, like, it turned on, like, definitely the opiate receptors in my brain. I know that I chased it after that, but it wasn't something that was super accessible to me. So I don't think it became a big problem at that time. I definitely had access to alcohol. I had access to cocaine every once in a while. So those things became a problem. And of course, mixing those things with the opiates when I had them was never a good idea, but that's what I did. You know, when the bottle says don't mix with alcohol, an addict thinks that means it'll feel better if I do that. So that's what I did.
Wow.
And that was a high school kid, you know, like just crazy. And, but after I graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to be a teacher, like that. I floated that idea for a while. I just didn't see a clear, like, career path, I guess. So I went to Harford Community College, played basketball and softball there. That paid for school. My last year there, for the end of the softball season, things with my alcohol use picked up. I got my first DUI. I wasn't even 21 yet. I was 20 years old. Everything started, like, spiraling from there. I think I got put on academic probation at HCC. The judge gave me 20 days on my first DUI as a 20-year-old, which was crazy to me. But she thought she was going to scare me straight or something like that. All she did was introduce me to people that taught me how to be a better criminal, a better drug user, a better drinker.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
What else are you teaching a 20-year-old at that time by doing that? I don't understand. But that's what happened. And when I got out, I had to do, like, I think it was like a 12-week DUI class or something like that. That was, I remember it was right by the Jiffy Lube in Bel Air, and it was a joke. Like, they put on videos that you watched. Like, it wasn't actual therapy or anything like that. And so I didn't learn anything. I wasn't ordered to go to meetings or anything like that.
No community service or anything?
No, that wasn't a part of it, I guess, because I served the time.
20 days.
Yeah. But so I didn't learn anything. I think I was able to kind of control my use for a little while after that. I met a guy. We became very involved. He was somewhat healthy in some aspects. Like, he had a career. He kind of had his life together. He was a little older than me, but he was also a big drinker, and his career, like, they have a bar at their office. So it's like,
Good
kind of
Lord.
like, yeah, it's, I don't know, a software company. I don't understand, but yes, that's just part of the culture. Sales and software. Yeah. But
I think sales is the key with that.
Yeah. And, but that's when, so I remember I was sitting at, so like I said, academic probation at HCC. I kind of got my stuff together, and I transferred to Cecil College, to finish out my AA degree. Decided on teaching, went through all these things. And when I apply myself, right, like, I can apply myself. Like, it was 3 semesters there, ended up getting some award at graduation for the education department, like all these things, right? But I remember sitting in class one day, I get a call from my mom. My mom does not call. She's like a chronic texter, where it's like a novel long text message. She doesn't call unless, like, it's really important or something, right? Or, like, she's freaking out about something. And so she's calling me while she knows I'm in class. So I'm like, immediately my heart kind of drops a little bit. I answer the phone, and she says that my dad fell in the shower. They don't know what's wrong, but he, like, lost feeling in his legs, and that they're taking him to hospital. My dad was a very big man. He's 6'7". So, like, to hear that he just, like, dropped in the shower was very, very concerning to me. He had heart issues in the past, but that was about it. By the time I got to the hospital, they had ran some tests, and the doctor came in and told us that it was kidney cancer that was all up and down his spine already. And it was a tumor that was, like, constricting his spinal cord that caused the numbness. So that, like, again, totally changed my life. But even though he was given, like, I forget exactly how many months to live, like, we went through so many surgeries and stuff. He stayed with us for about 2 years. But anticipatory grief is also hard to deal with when, like, you know somebody's going to die, like, it's terminal, but you also are taking every day for granted at the same time. Like, you're super grateful for that. like he was able to be there when I graduated Cecil College. I transferred colleges and finished my bachelor's degree in behavioral science at Wilmington University. Again, I'm still like drinking with this guy and partying a little bit, but like keeping my stuff together, right?
Right.
Like, and I'm present for my dad during all this. I'm helping him go to treatments. Like I'm taking him down. We didn't have the Klein Center yet, so I was taking him down to University of Maryland for chemo treatments and radiation treatment. Yeah, put a lot of miles on my 95 Cherokee when he was sick. But then this guy had asked me to marry him. He was very involved in my family. It was like it all looked very healthy at this time. And we planned the wedding for November. My dad passes away September. I definitely, like, I got through the funeral and all that stuff. Like I said, we knew it was coming eventually, right? Like, we had the plans all set. It was kind of nice to have a nice, fun event for my family. Like, the wedding, everybody had such a good time.
Yeah.
So you did, actually, you did
Everyone
go.
had
Okay.
such a good time because both sides of my family came together. Like, it wasn't just my dad's side that came. Like, my mom's side showed up when he was sick. And
Were they together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. My mom's side of the family showed up big time when my dad was sick too. So to have them all together at my wedding was a lot of fun. I said this. I think it was probably after that. Like I had a job still. I had kept my job. Hell, I was even in AmeriCorps at one point. It was just ridiculous. But like I kept my job and I was working at the state health department, like a contractual job, like something administrative, doing something like that. But I think after my dad passed away and after the wedding settled down, like my disease got louder and everything started looking good. I became like what I call a trash can addict, where whatever you had, I wanted, whatever I had access to, that's what I wanted. I just didn't want to feel the way that I felt. Like I don't even think I ever had a drug of choice, to be honest with you. I used anything and everything, and I just would try to make it through. So I ended up, my higher power always comes in the form of handcuffs every single time. So I got in trouble again. Got in trouble a couple times actually, because I never learned well the first time. Went to treatment the first time. This is 2014. Yeah, 2014. I went to treatment 3 times in a year.
Wow.
So I went the first time. I didn't think I had a problem. They let me do work release for one of my charges so I could go to work and come back to the treatment center at night. It was trippy. I was using while I was at work and they just didn't catch me. Then I screwed up again, got another charge, had to go back to treatment. Took the suggestion of a recovery house after that one though. Tried one of their recovery houses, but still wasn't ready. Went back to treatment after a relapse. And this is when the owner was someone in recovery, and he's like, Kat, like, when are you going to get it together? Like, I can't keep doing this for you, you know? He's like, I don't even think he charged me for my last stay there. Like, he just wanted me to get better.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was getting better. I was taking it seriously, but I was kind of fed up with myself and fed up with being within the same walls for 28 more days. Started breaking rules in the treatment center.
Was that local?
Yes. And
Okay.
it's still around, but it's out in Carroll County now.
Okay.
So it's not like the same, it's not even the same owner, I don't think. But, and I broke all kinds of rules, and the owner sat me down again. And he's like, Kat, I love you. I want to see you do better, but you can't do it here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
sometimes you can't.
Yeah, so he politely kicked me out, and he found me a bed in a sober living house in Annapolis. And he told me that if I got there by that night, that he would still show up for me in court and like help me out, like advocate for me. So again, I like took a suggestion. I was kind of forced into it, but I still like took the suggestion. Went to this recovery house. It was an interesting recovery house. I was introduced to the house manager and the drug dealer who lived next door, because apparently he looked out for the girls that lived in the sober house.
Wow.
It was lovely though. It's just that neighborhood in Annapolis. That's just how it was. And I recovered there, right? Like there wasn't even an open bed. So I slept on an air mattress for a couple weeks until there was an open bed. Like this woman took me because she heard this girl can't get it together.
Right.
Maybe you can help her. So like this woman, her name is Angel Trainer. She's amazing. The sober house she went through. I remember when Rachel was talking about starting the houses with you guys, like I told Rachel all about the way that Angel does things with Serenity Sisters in Annapolis.
Yes, and that they're very popular.
Yeah,
yes,
it's a really good program. So that's where I went, and I saw all these girls that the same didn't have licenses like me, didn't have cars like me, didn't have jobs like me, had pending charges or had charges like mine, like me, all struggling, but they like had smiles on their faces and were like having fun. I was like, what the heck is that?
Right.
I don't know how you're not doing that without like some kind of substance in it. I just didn't understand how you could be in recovery and be happy like that, or be in a recovery house with a bunch of.
And you're married still at this time.
The Lone Star doesn't shine on its own. Its light comes from the people who call Texas home. From musicians sharing their craft to nonprofits shaping our communities, everyday Texans with extraordinary experiences. Their voices embody what makes this state special. Each episode, we share stories that light the Lone Star. My name's Hondo, inviting you to listen to the Texas Together podcast, available on Buzzsprout and wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I was served divorce papers though while I was in treatment.
Okay.
Yes.
While you were in treatment.
Oh yeah. And I deserved all of that. I mean, it was kind of a joke of a marriage at that point. I was 23. I don't know. I think it was just like the hard time I was going through.
Yeah.
I just like leaned on it and we went through it. But like I don't regret any of it, but that's just what it was. Amicable. We didn't have any property, so like see ya, bye.
Right. Gotcha.
And
Been there.
Yeah. But that's where like my recovery journey really started, right? Like I went to whatever meeting the car that was taking us to meetings was going to. I didn't care. Would get there early because our ride would get there early, stay late if we had to, met tons of people, ended up getting a job at a local doctor's office. I remember at one point paying more in Ubers back and forth to work every week than I was in recovery house rent.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Yes.
That is a real thing.
Like, thank God the gas station by our house somehow let us use our food stamps to buy cigarettes. Because that's the only way that I afforded things. Because that's how much I was paying in Ubers and like everything else to be able to, but that gave me a job and that gave me better health insurance and like all these things. Like I was really like trying to do what I was supposed to do. And then, so yeah, I stayed there. I became a house manager through that recovery house program. I met wonderful women in that recovery house program, some that are still a part of my life today, some that unfortunately we've buried together too.
Yeah.
But it's really cool that we have a big Christmas party every year where all like the alumni of the sober house community comes together, that program. So I get to see some of them. We stay in touch like on Facebook and stuff like that too. But it's definitely cool that like people, like it really feels like a sober sorority house or like fraternity house when you're doing it the right way, right?
Yes.
That's what it feels
Family.
like. Yeah. And it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
And I went through that, lived there for about 18 months. Managing the house while working a 9-to-5 was really hard. It was like having 2 full-time jobs, but that's what I did. Like my phone would be blown up, but luckily the doctors that I worked for knew everything. Yeah. I had to get very honest with them because at one point
transparent.
Yeah, at one point I had to go to court for one of my like past charges that I had to deal with, and I had to serve a week. Yeah. And like I had to talk to these doctors about it and go through this process, and I actually had to appeal the decision and get bailed out. Like I'm lucky I only served that week. Wow. They wanted me to serve my backup time on that sentence. Yeah, I was lucky. It was actually Angel Trainer that found Danny McGee to bail me out, and I didn't even know Danny at that point in time. Like I didn't know recovery in this community at that time, but I don't even know if he knows that he did that. But yeah. And they filed the appeal bond for me and got me out.
Can I ask, were they like charges, like drug charges?
It was another DUI.
A DUI. Okay.
Yep. And so like I was expecting something, right? But I was walking into court with like a little over a year's clean. Like I had my sponsor with me. I had the people from my treatment center with me. They still gave me my backup time. They didn't care.
The backup time was how much?
18 months.
18. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that was a big pill to swallow.
Wow.
But luckily I stayed in contact with everybody. Angel helped my mom. My lawyer helped my mom. They figured it out. Like I said, my bed, nobody had been in my room. Nobody touched anything when I got back. The girls were all waiting for me. Like I was the house manager and I was in jail. It was crazy. But
Wow.
that's what was going on. But I came back and I got right back to work and I did what I was supposed to do. Right. Like I completed all 3 of those probations I ended up being on. And like, that's crazy. People like screw up probation all the time. But when you're doing the right thing, probation's really easy.
Yeah.
So I closed out those cases while I lived at Serenity Sisters. When I moved out, I moved in with people that weren't in recovery, but were recovery adjacent. Like they supported me. They were very involved with one of my alumni from the program. It was one of their like childhood friends that I ended up moving in with because I didn't know anyone really in the area except recovery people, which was kind of nice. Leaving Harford County to kind of go away and meet all new people for that part of my life was kind of nice. I obviously needed new influences in my life. And moved out with this person. That's where I met a guy, and like good addicts, 90 days later, we were pregnant and like head over heels in love for each other after 90 days, which is crazy. But that's just what we do. And we made it work. I kept, like I said, I was still working at that doctor's office. By the time like the end of my pregnancy got around, I celebrated 2 years at my home group in Annapolis, and then I moved home. Moved here. His family was here. He had a connection to recovery down there, but his family was here. So I moved home. He moved in with me and my mom.
And you're pregnant at this time.
Yes. Yep. I moved home and I'd never gone to meetings up here before. So I was expecting to go in and kind of be like a high school reunion or something. I wasn't sure what I was walking into, right? I had no idea. Walking to meetings, and there were some high school reunion moments, but for the most part, there were also like, there was also like a lawyer I had seen before and like people that I recognized from just like passing on the street, all kinds of people. And it was definitely interesting because I was like this pregnant, right? And this is their first time seeing me. And I'm walking into a meeting and they think I'm just now getting clean when I'm this pregnant.
Wow.
So I had some pretty judgmental eyes the first time when I was introducing myself.
Why do you think they assume that?
Because it was their first time seeing me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. It was just like their initial thought, like, who's this newcomer? Why is she just coming to a meeting now? That was just their initial thought. And so I walked through that. I had to like raise my hand and introduce myself and kind of tell my story at every single meeting for a while. It was really annoying, but I said I was like new to the area. I forced myself to meet people. I switched sponsors. I found someone that was a mom because my first sponsor wasn't a mom. I needed somebody who had that.
Good idea.
Yeah. And I built a network out here. I got a job out here after my son was born. Just working at like a front desk at a treatment center, at an outpatient treatment center, and worked my way up in that organization to running, I guess the best way to put it is like their aftercare department. And I worked there for about 7 years, had another child. My marriage definitely wasn't like unicorns and butterflies. My ex had his like struggles with addiction as well, like being in a relationship with someone in recovery. My sponsor told me right then and there, like, you have to commit to what happens when they relapse or what happens when they disappear or whatever, what are you going to have in place? You always have to have some kind of backup plan or plan available to you, especially if you have kids with that person.
Did you have a backup plan?
Luckily, I did.
Okay.
And I had like supports in place to like support me through those times. And working in treatment, able to get him into treatment really quick was really nice. And being able to do that for any of my friends is also very nice, being so connected in the community now. When someone's struggling, anybody, I try to help them if I can. Like, drop my name. I don't know if it'll help, but go ahead, And or I know so-and-so, ask for them, things like that. Anything to help somebody, I will. But and just financial struggles, right? I don't think I was born in 1990. I don't know. I haven't been an adult when we weren't in some form of a recession or heading towards one. So finances have always been really hard.
Yeah.
Like what I turned 18 in 08. So like I've been an adult since then. It's always been like a financial struggle. Even with a 2-income household, and we were living with my mom. I still live with my mom. Thanks, Mom. Love you. But I worked at that treatment center, loved my job. I got to work with the coolest people. This treatment center like sees homeless people through movie stars. Like it was just so cool to work with just an incredible amount of people and from all walks of life. And but they had like a restructuring of their organization a couple years ago. My department was let go. A bunch of people were let go. I was able to find a new job in the field pretty quickly. But it was a big shift in my life, right? Like I carried the health insurance. I was always kind of the breadwinner, quote unquote. And like I said, health insurance, I took care of daycare, like all that stuff, right?
And
like,
your mom, you have 2 kids,
right? Like my kids, Gregory had a boundary exception for the school by this work. Like I worked out all kinds of stuff to make my life easier around this job. But it was out of my control. It happened. Was lucky to find a new job. But a few months after that, my marriage got even rockier. My ex at the time had alcohol around the house pretty frequently. It was something I had to deal with on top of, it was just a very...
So your husband
Yes.
was drinking in the house?
Yes.
Okay.
And the dynamic in our marriage was there wasn't much I could do about it. And so when a moment of weakness finally came for me, it was like before the thought even hit my brain to say no, the beer was already halfway down my throat.
Oh, shit.
Because it was there around me.
Yeah.
You know? And even though I had all the recovery support in the world, the network in the world, like it didn't matter. The way that like my life was set up right then, the worst thing happened that nothing happened, right? Like nobody found out. Nothing happened to make me stop.
Gotcha.
You know? So like that's the worst thing
Until
that can
it
happen
did,
when you
because
pick
I'm sure
up.
you're
Right.
that's got to where we're headed.
Exactly.
I imagine.
That's the worst thing that can happen, right? Is like you pick up once after having, I had 8 years clean.
Whoa.
After having that much clean time and picking up and nothing happened afterwards. Like there was no like immediate, my brain didn't feel different. My body, like, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing happened where negative or that I felt like my mental well-being had changed. I don't know. It was just nothing happened. And so when the opportunity arose again, it happened again. And luckily the relapse was very short. Relapses, if you truly like are an addict, they get worse and shorter. Like that's just the pattern that everyone's going to have. And my higher power came to me in the forms of handcuffs again.
Oh, wow.
Another DUI?
Yep.
Wow.
And luckily this was it was an unavoidable accident. It was not my fault. Luckily, the alcohol in my system had nothing to do with it. And like the cops say so, my charging documents say so. Like I know that's not in my head.
But you were drinking, so
I had drank earlier in the day.
Were you charged with a DUI?
Yes, I was. Okay. Because there was a restriction on my license from previous where no alcohol could be in my system. So it didn't matter what my BAC was. I was getting something. I was going to get a DUI regardless. So even though I had drank earlier in the day, I was making a left-hand turn with my children in the car. And someone hit us. And luckily, I was able to get the kids out of the car. Like, nobody was hurt. Everything was fine. Like I said, luckily, like, I wasn't the cause of the accident, right? Like, it was an accident.
Yeah.
But if it hadn't have happened, if I hadn't have failed whatever sobriety test they gave me, because I can tell you, like, for me, like, shock, I don't remember any of that.
You were that intoxicated that you didn't remember?
No, my BIC was actually pretty low. I think it was shocked that I don't remember that part.
Okay.
Yeah, especially since you had the kids in the car too. Your main focus is the
like
kids.
I can remember waiting for the police and the ambulance with one of the other women that was involved. Like I helped her with her kids. She had snacks. We sat there. We like waited. Like there was like I was fine, right? Like the kids were fine. So we're just like waiting to figure out tow trucks and insurance and all that stuff. But because they ran my history and whatever, they just assumed, and they were right, and they got lucky, and they charged me with the DUI.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So can we consider this a blessing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because, well,
that's where I was going with it.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, if you don't mind, because if that you said they put the handcuffs on you.
And my son saw that.
Now, at the time, you were living with your mother still, so at least the kids went back to your mother.
Yep. And my husband at the time, my husband, he came and picked them up. He took them home.
Okay.
And I said I immediately got into an IOP. I called my lawyer, and I was like, the same lawyer from before, and like he knew me as 8 years in recovery too. So like having to go through all of that with him was even like he was a friend at this point, right? Like he would share with his new clients my story as someone like, you can get your shit together, you know, you can get your stuff together.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Shit,
Okay.
You get your shit together.
All right, cool. And and then I had to like own up to him too, and of course shell out more money and all this stuff, go through the process again. But I went through it, got into a local IOP that I had never been affiliated with.
Now, what's IOP?
Intensive outpatient. So it's 3 to 4 times a week, 3 hours a session. Most places you have to leave your analysis once or twice a week, seeing a doctor, stuff like that. But you're able to work at the same time.
Right.
So I did that, and it's longer than 28 days too. So it holds you accountable for typically 12 to 26 weeks, depending on the severity of your situation. Wow. Yeah. And you can also drop down to like lower intensity outpatient, and still like I still am affiliated with this provider today, even though I don't go to group. I see their counselor and their psychiatrist. They manage my meds. I still leave your analysis there every week. Like they're part of my recovery still, which is really cool. So like I'm still in treatment with these people almost 2 years later. And I did all of that. I did not tell my job at the time. I knew I was going to eventually go to jail. Like when I just knew that was going to happen because of my record, even though it had been like 10 years since I had been in trouble. I figured something was going to happen. Right. So I just... not spiritual, but I collected the paychecks until I couldn't. And I went to court, and I faced the music and drug carry. Like he had the same reaction as my lawyer did when I told him was I didn't think that people after 8 years this would happen. Like, and Judge Carey at the end of his sentencing, he told me like, you're still teaching me something. Like I know now, like this really is a one day at a time thing. Yeah. But because of who I was in the recovery community and because of my record and what had happened, I was sentenced to 9 months. Wow. I served 5.5 on those 9 months. Not seeing my kids for 5.5 months was really, really hard.
I bet.
I was lucky that for positive reasons, I knew people in the jail because during my 8 years in recovery, I had helped out with the female substance abuse unit, volunteering. I brought in NA meetings.
How did that feel? Like, how did it...
talk about humbling. Walking in and I've known the warden since I was 3 years old, since I moved here. I've known the Harford County warden since I was 3 years old. It was a very humbling experience, to say the least. And
how did you know since you're 3? I mean,
daycare. I'm still friends with his daughter today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. A lifelong friendship with his daughter. And like he had that conversation with me at one point during my stay. Like he's like, "Are you okay?" Basically, it's like asking me. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be fine." Because he also didn't know me as an adult, I guess. Like I hadn't been to his house for like a pool party or whatever since like middle school, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, it's a childhood friend's parent, and definitely a humbling experience. And knowing some of the COs from just working in there and being
what's a CO?
A correctional officer.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Like the one that would work every Sunday night when I was going in to bring in an NA meeting, they knew my face right away and were like, "What the heck are you doing here?" But I went to every program I could, every meeting I could, every church service I could.
Now, were your kids your motivation at this point?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I was going to be the sole caretaker when I got out. Like,
How old were your kids at this time?
2 and 6.
God.
Yeah.
Man.
My daughter was still breastfeeding when I went to jail. Yeah. It was hard.
How?
It was so hard. And she did not recognize me when I came home.
Oh.
Well, even at 2, that had to be a shock to her as well because, Jesus.
We've done a lot of work since I came home.
Right.
I bet.
A lot of work. But while I was in there, like I said, I did every program. I don't care what anyone tells you. There's plenty of access to drugs and alcohol in jail. Like, they try their hardest to keep it out of there, but it's always going to be there.
Right.
Like, people just even abusing their medications, like people are always an addict's going to find a way, no matter where they are, even behind bars, they're going to find a way. And so, like, that's in my face every day. Like, the girls even made huge Christmas wine at one point. So, like, even alcohol is in my face, but, like, you can choose to say no, right? Like, even when it's in your face. And, like, that was really good practice for me, right? And I was going to meetings, even though, like, sometimes there was the same speaker every single week. I still went, hearing the same story every single week. But sometimes they only had, like, 1 or 2 inmates showing up for the meeting. So I was always just going to show up so that the people the volunteers wanted to keep coming in.
Yes.
Sometimes it helps to hear that story over and over again, too.
Yeah. And just to have, like, a break from the toxicity that's going on in the dorm. To have a break, be in a different room, usually looking kind of like this, you know, and just talking to another addict. Like, it was just worth it. Like, when the counselor there offered to meet with me one-on-one, I was like, heck yes, I'll do that. There was a trauma program they brought in. I signed up for that. Like, I did. There was a lot of programs this go around that were not there the other times that I've been there. And I completed all of those things. I sent all of those completion letters to Judge Carey. Like, every time I got one, I would be like, look, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I ended up getting, like, an extra good day. Like, you get good time based on what you do there and how long you're there. So I ended up getting an extra good day at the very end of, like, it was supposed to be about 5.5 months, but minus 1 more day for something I did. I didn't tell anybody. I told my friends and I asked them to come get me. Friends that had helped me sign my kids up for Medicaid while I was in there. Friends that, like, helped put money on my books, like, good, positive people. I asked them to come get me, and because I knew that things at home were not good.
And so your now ex is living still with your mother and your children. Okay.
Yep.
And he was drinking,
among a lot of other issues.
How did your mom deal with that?
She struggled a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
She's a saint. So when I came home, I kind of wanted it to be a surprise because I didn't want anyone to be able to plan for it or anything like that. I wanted to see what was really happening in my house. So I showed up a day early, and luckily it was just my mom there, so I got to surprise her. But cans, bottles, paraphernalia all over my room, my kids' room.
Your kids' room too?
Yeah, because putting them to sleep, falling asleep there, it would just be there. Terrible. And another woman's clothes, like a lot of stuff. So I was able to get
your poor
through
mother and your kids.
I was able to get through that. I was able to, we needed a protective order. I got that. I had filed for divorce. And since then, it's been an ongoing journey. But, like, that summer, because luckily I came home in March, the end of March. This all happened. So it was the end of baseball season, school going into summer. Luckily, I was able to be present for that. So I was present for the beginning of the school year and the end of the school year. Like, I felt like I at least had some kind of closure for my kids with that, right? A little, and I got my son into therapy. Luckily, there was a therapist working with inside his school, like an outside therapist that would come to his school. Got him into therapy. I stayed at the pool with them all summer, like I felt like I got my time back a little bit, but we also had a lot to work through.
What was that initial reunion like? I mean, you said your daughter
Maxine did not recognize me. She just started crying. Gregory was happy, but, like, surprised, and I think he knew that some people wouldn't be happy about it because he was, like, timid. But he came to me, like, the kid slept with me that night. Like, she did warm up to me eventually. But it was hard. It was really hard.
I can't even imagine.
It was really, really hard. And I'm very grateful for like a daycare provider that's a friend now because I've known her for 8 years with Gregory, and just a supportive family.
Did you elect for them not to visit you there?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my decision. I didn't want either of them to have that as a core memory at all.
It's bad enough they saw you taken away in handcuffs.
Yes.
And you don't want, I can understand that.
Yep. They thought I was away for work for a little while because that wasn't out of the normal. But of course, when I came home initially, there was a big fight, and that came out during that fight. So my son found out that way, which was awful. But I guess it's so much better now, right? Like going from that to spending all summer with them, getting him into therapy, getting myself plugged back into that IOP program, right? Like I had already completed IOP before I went to sentencing. So I was done with IOP, went to jail, got out, and I was in what they termed outpatient, OP, once a week. So I'm still seeing a counselor. I'm still doing drug screens, all that stuff. I'm going to meetings because I love meetings. I still have the same sponsor. I go through that summer and just allow myself to kind of rest. I could feel that like my body was tired. My body was really tired.
I bet it was.
Like really tired after all of that. And I had the opportunity to like, I didn't have to rush out. Like I took my daughter to daycare in the morning. Then I would go and hang out with my son at the pool, pick up my daughter. Like we just had an easy summer, you know?
Yeah.
We spent time with friends. And then the opportunity arose with a friend in recovery opening a residential treatment center for men locally here that they needed. It was a part-time position to be a director of operations because he didn't have the capacity at the time for me to be full-time.
Right.
But he needed someone to be director of operations for a small 15-bed men's long-term. They stay anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on what kind of coverage we can get. It's all Medicaid covered. And this is someone who's got over a decade in recovery. Also a very close friend, mutual friends as well. And he took a shot on me, right? Like he knew that I just had a year clean at the time again. He hired me. Working in treatment again, I wasn't sure what that was going to look like really, but I knew that this was such a much more slow pace because it wasn't 28 days, right? I didn't have to convince somebody to figure out where they were going, figure all that out in 4 weeks. That's crazy. I have these people for 6 months to a year. I can really help them. I'm helping bring in meetings, helping make sure that they are connected to the right doctors, therapists, getting resumes, like all that stuff, helping these guys. And then also like the behind the scenes, like paperwork and all that. You have to get certified just like any treatment provider or hospital does. We have compliance boards that we need to keep up with. Like that's part of my job as well. Imagine, yeah, that's part of my job as well. And it's been such a blessing, right? Like I work 2 12-hour shifts, so it's part-time. And like now that we're getting ready to open another one, like I'm helping out right now with some extra hours too. But I am able to be present for my kids like my mom does. I'm able to drop them off in the morning. My mom picks them up those days, or my ex's parents' family picks them up those days. I'm able to do drop-offs and pickups the other days, be present for summer, make their doctor's appointments those days, like things that I would have had to take off work for otherwise. I'm able to do and not have to like stretch or change my schedule around to do it. Like even for like I was a coach for basketball for my son this past season, and I could pick like, please make his practices Tuesdays or Thursday nights. And like the rec council, they're cool with that. They try their best to do that, you know? So like I even have evenings that are free that I don't have to work, which really help. Being able to be present to do stuff like that. I'm coming up on 2 years clean again. I've gone through this whole divorce process. We are officially divorced now.
Do the kids have a relationship with him?
They do, but it's strained and it's hard because he still does not want to commit himself to a life of recovery. Right. And there's a lot of struggles that come along with that, you know, like we're working with like making sure visitations happen, but they have to happen however the judge says they have to happen. And we put like accountability stuff in place for his sobriety, and we're all trying, but it's strained.
Okay. What does this recovery look like versus the 8 years? What's changed in you? Like how are you a different person?
That's a good question. I'm a different person where I truly believe that I had to go through that relapse and going to jail to like find myself again. Because I don't think, I just told you, I've been a chameleon since I was 3. I didn't know who the hell I was. So I found myself, I was literally stripped away of everything, like literally, or stripped whenever they want to in there. And I was forced to just like gut level honest with everyone around me and just change literally everything. And when I came out, I had to rely on other people. Like I couldn't do it myself, right? Like I'm going to be okay. I had to figure out how to be okay for myself. And I worked with a therapist, and I still work with her. And our sole focus has always been safety.
Safety.
Yes.
For you and the kids.
Yep. And I never knew that it was so important. Like, it seems like such a simple thing.
What do you mean? Like kind of drill down on that.
So we live in Harford County, which is for the most part a safe place. You know,
right?
You can walk on Main Street holding your kid's hand, not being like scared somebody's going to come grab your pocketbook or whatever, right?
Or grab your kid.
Right, right. And we live in a relatively safe place. So we don't really think of safety as a basic need to be met in our day-to-day life. We just don't. It's like an assumed thing that we have, like a well-adjusted person has. Anyways, a well-adjusted person has a sense of safety in their life. They know that they've got food in the fridge and money in the savings account, whatever. When you have all of that taken from you and you're put in jail, all your money is literally taken from you. It's so bad. The whole situation was so bad, but everything's taken from you. You don't feel safe anymore. When you have to live around another person's personality and behaviors that impede your feeling of safety. Like, you don't know that you're doing things like my son telling me that he used to want daddy to sleep in his room with him so that he knew his dad was okay.
God.
You know what I mean? Like that, he doesn't feel safe, and neither did I. So we're working on that, like as a family. But that's what me and my therapist and me and my sponsor focus on, is like, I had to find a way to feel safe within myself. And like, I focus a lot more on myself this go around. Like, it's impossible. I think the word balance is BS. I think it's a fairy tale. I think if you say you're chasing balance, that's an unattainable goal you're never going to get, right? But I don't want to ever be too out of balance. Like, that's my focus. Like, I make sure that I
your
go to
highs
the gym.
are not too high and your lows aren't too low.
Yes.
Yeah.
I take care of myself so I can take care of my kids, so I can take care of the clients at my job. I can show up for my responsibilities and show up for my blessings, you know? And like, I don't know. You're never going to get rich working in treatment for the right reasons. It's never going to happen.
You get rich right here in the heart, helping other people.
Exactly. But, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if I'm ever financially safe in life, right? I'm safe now. I'm safe. I'm happy. My kids are safe and happy. My mom's safe and happy. My recovery community is safe and happy. Even when we're not, like, there was a really recent tragic loss in our recovery community, just awful. And people are able to step up and help and support. And like, if that person wasn't in recovery, what would their support look like?
You are absolutely correct.
You know what I mean?
If
that person wasn't in recovery, like, that person probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's important that you say that, because I always say it. Rich knows this. It's like what I've seen with my experience is being involved in the recovery community, not as someone in recovery, but someone who is involved in helping, you know, make some of these pieces like connect. I have never seen connections so deep as they run in the recovery community.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing.
It really, really is.
It really is. Like, you guys are very fortunate in that
yes,
way.
We are. And we have a program that literally all you have to do is take 12 steps and you better yourself in your life. Like, you could apply the 12 steps to anything.
Yes.
So I call, like, normal people, not addicted people, muggles. I love Harry Potter.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm a muggle, but yes.
You live in the same world.
So
You
was
just don't get
Hermione,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Hermione
You live
was
in the
raised
same
by
world. You
muggles,
just
right.
don't get it. So,
That's funny.
like, I wish I could give this like feeling to everybody, to
Yeah.
other addicts and to muggles.
Well, we
right?
all-
Like,
we all are
you can work
recovering
the 12
from
steps,
something.
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Work the 12 steps on the pack of cigarettes, on the candy, the ice cream, whatever.
Any
The law,
type
on
of
any
addiction,
behavior.
yeah.
Any behavior. You can apply it to any single behavior. But we're lucky that we have a community behind it too. You know? And that's what I focus on today. I'm super lucky to have my job. Like, I have my kids. My family is like super supportive. So are my friends. Really, really blessed. Absolutely. Like, I know that I'm never, like I said, I'm never going to be like financially safe or rich. Like, my mom will be fine if me and the kids are living there forever, you know? And
Yeah.
like, in this day and age, we probably will be. I don't think it's financially
nothing wrong with
attainable
that,
for
right.
me to ever in my own home, but whatever, it's fine. She's
Never say
happy
never.
with it, so am I. And like, we're happy, and that's all that matters. So that's
You're
really
doing
what
it.
I focus on.
You're doing what
today.
you need to do.
Yeah.
And I want to, commend you in a couple ways that you have enough education and you have enough knowledge that you understand the importance of getting therapy for your children at such a young age. Because I don't think people realize that these events that are happening to our kids through their parents, not through any malicious, act.
It doesn't even have to be a big thing like mommy
No.
or daddy
Yeah,
going to
but-
jail
but
or an
it's
addiction.
this
But it could be
trauma.
something that feels like a huge deal to this child.
Yes.
Even
Might not
small
seem like
little
a big
arguments.
thing.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, we couldn't afford the vacation we were planning on. Like, then the kid starts to think, what's the financial trouble?
Right,
They start
what
to
is
think it's
happening?
them.
Yep.
All those things that like we're just not equipped to parent coping skill. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really model those. And if you don't have them for yourself,
And a
how are
lot
you
of
gonna
people
model them for your
don't.
kids,
And
right?
we talked to someone the other day, and something that she said, I keep thinking, it just kind of keeps playing a tape in my head. The worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
Mhm.
And I was like, kind of like, yeah, because you have, the affluent people that maybe their kids never wanted for anything. But like you just said, you're not going on vacation like the rest of your soccer team is.
Right.
And now you're traumatized.
It's
and
the first
everyone's
huge
kind of
thing.
like, get over it.
Right.
But that's the worst thing that had ever happened to them.
Exactly.
So when you compare some of these things that are horrific
Yeah.
to some things that you think, oh, please. And I'm not trying to
Like,
say that
trauma
lightly.
is just a fluid word, right?
Yes.
Like, traumatic
Yes.
is a fluid word.
Yes.
It depends what like your pain threshold is.
Yeah.
And as for a child, you don't have a pain threshold. So anything could be traumatic, let alone like what my kids have gone through and what other kids. That's why I love that Rage has like their kids programs and things too. And that like things for kids are becoming more available. Programs for parents and kids are becoming available. We've got moms and kids programs around here. Serenity Sisters I was a part of has 2 dads and kids houses now. Like, there's a lot going on. I'm watching guys that I work with every day like become present fathers again, become employed again. Like,
That's good.
it's really cool.
It is. And I think that the tide is changing.
Yeah.
It's slow, but it's happening. And it's the first time that people are actually paying attention.
Yeah.
So what's your question for her?
My biggest question is because you've been through a lot, but I'm also thinking of everything that you went through with your father and the kids. But the person that was there the whole time, all these times, your mother, how is she actually doing right now?
She's doing a lot better. And even though I sometimes you can lead a horse to water. Like, her generation isn't going to talk to a therapist. I've tried. But she's got friends that have gone through not the same hardships, but hardships.
Right.
I think most parents of every generation now have dealt with a kid or a friend's kid who's battled with drugs or alcohol in some capacity. So she's got some people in her life. She's definitely healthier now. During COVID, like when I was in recovery, then like I went back to school and got my master's. She went and replaced all the parts she needed to replace. She had never taken care of herself while my dad was sick, so like
Right.
a couple new hips and a back surgery and stuff like that.
My God, were you
never,
okay? So
for real,
those
she had never
parts,
taken
okay.
care of herself.
Right.
Wow.
During COVID, she did that, and like now she's in a much better place. She's much healthier.
Good.
She loves hanging out with her grandkids, and yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Wow.
asking.
Thank you for sharing. I mean, this
Thanks for having me, guys.
we're hoping that, doing this during National Recovery Month will be, a story that someone can relate to and, bring more people to recovery. And
Yeah.
we really do thank you for that.
Of course.
Yes, thank you.
And I love that you guys are shining a light on it. Hopefully people will come closer. Like,
Purple light.
there we go, purple light. Like I get to leave here and go watch an awards ceremony at my kids' summer camp.
Yay.
Like that's so cool. That's like I said,
Nice.
it's a responsibility and a blessing, but I get to be present, right?
Yes. And that's all.
Absolutely.
That's what they need.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Wendy, I understand that Rage Against Addiction is doing something very important, a monthly donor program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We are hoping to get our supporters to join us in providing a monthly donation. It can be $5 or it can be more. Whatever you can afford
Right.
really allows us to help plan and increase our fundraising efforts.
Well, why should people become a monthly donor? What are they doing to help?
Their monthly contributions let us plan for long-term projects and respond quickly when urgent needs arise. And I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
We had the need for a new mattress.
Right.
And we've also had urgent needs for refrigerators and washing machines and all of that kind of stuff that comes up. So they tend to need to be replaced, and our women deserve to have the things that they need.
So with the monthly donor program, technically anybody can do it for any amount, and because Rage Against Addiction always needs something. And
Yes.
I've known you for years now, and there's times you've told me you guys needed furniture, you need clothes, and also you're not getting the grants that you used to or the contributions that you used to. So this monthly donor program would definitely help a lot.
Yes.
So if somebody becomes a monthly donor, is there anything that they're getting in return? Besides, of course, helping those that need it. I know you guys have an excellent newsletter. Would they automatically be subscribed to
we'll
that?
subscribe you to our newsletter so you'll know what's going on. You can kind of track our progress, hear success stories, know the data and like how many women we serve each year, and just be a part of something bigger.
So with this too, I guess they're also going to be, because of the newsletter, they're going to be one of the first ones to find out about events coming up like the Memory Walk and Run, the Basket Bingo, and any other future events that you're doing, the podcast that you do.
Yes.
So they're going to be tied in right away.
Yes.
All right. So how can they become a monthly donor?
You can go to our website, and that is rageagainstaddiction.org, and go to our donate button. And on there, you will have the option to become a monthly donor, and you can put in any amount that you want. Your commitment, big or small, empowers our mission and changes lives every single day. Visit us at rageagainstaddiction.org to become a reoccurring donor and join us in making a lasting impact. Thank you for your compassion, generosity, and belief in a brighter future. Together, we can make a difference. Join us today.